1 month ago, who would have thought that I'd be here talking to you about a pandemic? As a community, we always think about the possibility of a windstorm or flooding. These are common occurrences, and we have plans to deal with them. Pandemics are not the first thing we would have imagined happening to our nation, our state, or our village. But that's where we are today. This is new territory for us individually and as a village, and we are all learning how to avoid getting COVID-19. On March 6th, Governor Pritzker issued an executive order requiring everyone to stay home, practice social distancing, any closing of businesses that are non-essential, and schools in an attempt to slow the spread of COVID-19. Our normal daily routines have been drastically altered. Things we did every day without second thought are now removed from our lives. Dinner plans have changed to meals at home with our families. The drive to see parents or grandchildren are replaced with phone calls and video chats. And many of us are working from home or are temporarily unemployed. This has impact on our lifestyle and our financial security. It also affects the village financially. I wish I could tell you when we'd be back to normal, but I can't. But I hope it is soon. Well, a number of businesses in Villa Park are considered essential and are open. Quite a few restaurants in town are offering carry-out service. Gas stations are open, cleaners and the hardware stores are open, to name a few. I encourage you to call these businesses or any business to check to see if they're open before you head out. These are our neighbors, and they need your business. I want to assure you that the village is still providing services, as we always have. The fire and police departments are responding to calls, and Public Works is operating as usual. Please remember them in your prayers and the medical professionals who go to work every day to protect us. I would like to thank you all for following the governor's order by staying home, practicing social distancing. By following these guidelines, we will be able to flatten the curve of infection and will be able to return to our lifestyle that we're used to. Many of you have expressed concerns for our first responders. Therefore, I've asked the police chief and the fire chief to give you some information on their operating during this pandemic.
Good afternoon, Village of Villa Park residents and businesses. My name is Ron Rakosnik. I am the fire chief for the Villa Park Fire Department. Speaking today on behalf of COVID-19 and some of the precautions that we at the fire department are doing, as well as promoting our village residents to follow. A question was brought to my mind: what safety precautions is the fire department following for the safety of the employees of the Village of Villa Park Fire Department? We are following guidelines from the Center of Disease Control, the CDC, as well as the Illinois Department of Public Health and DuPage County Health Department. On March 19, 2020, we implemented a COVID-19 directive on operational guidelines that our employees will be following at the fire department. When you call for the ambulance, if you have an emergency, DUCOM, which is our dispatching agency, they will ask you the following questions. Do you have any breathing problems? Do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? And are you having flu-like symptoms? As well as, have you traveled outside of the USA since January 1st? And have you been in contact with anybody with COVID-19 since January 1st? This information will help the paramedics in deciding on what PPE, personal protective equipment, they should wear upon entering your home. When the paramedics do get to your house, what they'll do is typically we'll send in 2 paramedics. Now we're going to be sending in 1 paramedic, and he or she will be bringing in a mask to put on your face to protect them as well as everybody else. And they'll be having a mask on, perhaps a face shield, a gown, gloves, so on and so forth. This is not to harm you or to scare you, but it's to protect everybody that's treating yourself as well as anybody in your home. After they have treated you, they'll put you in the ambulance. In some cases, they may even ask you, if you can, to walk to the door, and they'll assist you to the ambulance or to the cot, to the ambulance stretcher. This again is all precautions that we are trying to follow during this pandemic episode. Currently, both of our fire stations are on lockdown. What that means is our stations are closed to the public at this point. Nobody can enter and visit, and this is for the safety of our firefighter paramedics. Every day we inventory our PPE, which is our personal protective equipment again, to make sure that we have enough supplies going forward in the event that things should get worse. We have established an IAP, Incident Action Plan, in the event that we have a fire station that gets contaminated by the COVID-19 and we have to quarantine more than a few firefighters. It could knock us out of station manning, so we have the area departments covering us and vice versa. We would cover them if need be. We have an excellent working relationship with DuPage County Health Department as well as the Office of Homeland Security, and they've been very fortunate to give us the PPE equipment that our firefighters need going forward. We remind our personnel on a daily basis to constantly wash your hands. We wash down the firehouses every day with wipes. We fogged all of our equipment, the rigs with an antibacterial fogging machine, as well as all of the fire station offices and sleeping areas. Our personnel are allowed to wear their uniforms on duty, but they are not allowed to take them home. When their shift ends in the morning, they put them in the washer machine and dry them at the fire station. And every day on a daily basis, we tell our firefighters to maintain good hygiene practices. Keep your social distancing to 6 feet. Cover your nose and mouth if you cough. And if you don't feel well, stay home or go home. Try not to transmit your illness to somebody else. And again, we tell our members as well as our residents, exercise. Exercising is so important right now, especially with the warmer weather. Go outside, go on a prairie path, walk around a block, maintain your distancing, but exercise, get your lungs going, take some deep breaths of this nice fresh air, and hopefully we'll get through this very, very soon. Again, stay home and save lives. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Village of Villa Park. My name is Mike Lay, and I'm the police chief for Villa Park. I want to start off this afternoon by assuring everyone that in these difficult times that we are all experiencing, the police department is going to be there for you and will continually be there for you. If you call 911, you will be directed to a police officer, and our services may have changed a little bit in the way we handle calls by handling the calls with a phone call or email, or asking the residents to step outside or the business owners to step outside of where they're at to speak with the officer. But we will be there for you. We will be there for emergencies and accidents and any other needs that you have. While doing this, we have had to make some changes in our procedures in order to ensure the safety of our residents and our officers. In the middle of March, I came out with a directive limiting access to our police department, again, to ensure the safety of the public and our officers. We had to reduce some of our non-essential tasks, such as fingerprinting appointments, car seat checks, and tours of the police station. Like the fire department, we take a lot of our information from the CDC and the Illinois Department of Public Health and use those best practices to ensure safety by monitoring our employees on a daily basis to make sure that they are healthy to continue at work and report to work. And we've asked them to monitor at home as well when they're off, and their family members as well. Some of the other activities that we are doing is by monitoring the activity for compliance with the governor's executive order. We have continued to build upon these directives as time has gone on and more information has been learned. We are taking more of our direction from the Illinois State Police, Chiefs of Police around Illinois, along again with the Illinois Department of Public Health, DuPage County Office of Emergency Management, and DuPage County Health Department. We've instituted additional personal protective equipment guidelines, PPE, so that our officers are protected when interacting with the public and they're protecting the public at the same time. So if you have an interaction with a police officer, you will see them wearing a mask when they come to your location. Again, this is for the safety of the officer and for the public as well. We've instituted new screening forms for our officers, taking their temperature before and after work, making sure, again, that they're healthy and that their families are healthy. We're limiting the amount of people in the police department at one time. Some of our non-essential workers that are able to work from home are doing so. Those that are in the station and have to be in the station will be wearing masks around the station as well, again, to protect everybody's safety. We've instituted extra cleaning measures within the police station for our personnel and for the squad cars and the detention area. We have monitoring measures in place for those that do end up getting arrested. All of our officers do have the recommended minimum PPE, and we've been very fortunate in working with our partner agencies to obtain that equipment. But we've also been very fortunate for those that have donated to our police department. Businesses and individuals have come through and donated gloves and masks and eye protection, and for that we are very grateful. Our police department members appreciate all the support that we're getting from the public. Unfortunately, one of the things that we've had to turn away, though, is donations of food and other items, similar items to the police department. Again, our police department is closed for non-essential activities and personnel, and therefore we cannot allow any outside food to come in. Just your thoughts of being with our officers during this time is what we're looking for at this time. We don't need extra food to be brought in, but again, we really appreciate the thoughts. As a final reminder, if you need police for any reason, call 911.
And if you need a fire department for any reason, call 911.
The best things our residents can do for our community and for our first responders is stay home.
To save lives.
Thank you, Chief Lay and Chief Rakosnik, for this information. And remember, everyone, wash your hands, cover your coughs, practice social distancing, and stay home, stay safe, save lives, and we'll get through this together.